You're very welcome to this session on how to link files in Excel. All right, I'm going to begin with, as they say, one I've prepared earlier. Okay, and let me just share my screen because that would be so much better as opposed to wandering around the recesses of my brain. Okay, so what I have here, and you can see the instructions are on the file, or as my son used to call them, the destructions. All right, and what I want to do here is that this is my summary file. Okay, and what I want to do is I've got three files called Galway January, Mayo January, and Sligo January. And what I want to do is that I have figures for three people, Larry, Curly, and Mo. And for those of you who don't know your movies, that would be from the Three Stooges. And basically what I want to do is pull in the figures for them. Okay. So when you're actually pulling in data from another file, it's actually kind of fairly straightforward. So for example, I want to get in Galway Larry, so I go equals, and then I navigate down to my files here at the bottom. I head on over to Galway January, and what I'm going to do is I can now, let's say, just do, I click here. See, there's this one, and then I click here and I press enter. Okay. And there we go, that's the enter. Now, what you need to watch out for is that when you pull it in from another file, it locks the cell so that if I copy this down, it'll give me the same one all the way down. So what I need to do is I need to go back up to this one, double click on the formula, hide it up here, and just press F4 until the dollar signs disappear, and I press enter, and then I copy it down, right? And then I do the same thing with Mayo, click here, go equals, navigate down to my cell here. I go to Mayo January. Okay, and I go to this one. And there we go. There's Larry, Mayo January. Press enter. And I click here, highlight the columns, press F4 to remove that, and then copy it down. And then I do the same thing with Sligo. Click here, equals, and I head on over to, again, go down here to Sligo January, and then I click on this one here, and I press enter. Now, if you notice here, right, what it does is that it doesn't bring in the full path. It just brings in the name of the file and the sheet reference. So if I change the sheet reference, that would update. And then I just, again, double click on it, just press F4. And sometimes you find the F4 doesn't stick, so you might just need to highlight the whole thing and then just copy it down. All right, so this is just my little check here, and you can see there it's all kind of working out fine. All right. Now, what I want to do for the second phase, right, is what I want to do is basically now pull in my February numbers into this space. Okay. So what I do here is this is a little bit different. I click, for example, here. All right. And just before I do that, let's have a quick look at our Galway February figures. All right. Let me just share here. Okay, there's my Galway February. So I see Larry is 1630, as I like to say, not the year, not the time, that's the number. All right. And then we have Curly is 3994, etc. Okay. So let's see how we're going to change that. So as I go to this one, now this time what I do is I go up to data, right? Data. What you want to look for is you want to look for this one that says edit links. Now, when you see edit links live, that means that it's got data in from another external source. So what I do is I click on edit links. And what you need to do is that I know this is Galway January, so I make sure I've clicked on Galway January. And now what I'm going to do is I want to change this from Galway January to Galway February. So you need to make sure, first of all, you clicked on this one. Like this is the source for this cell. And you also need to make sure that everything is in the same place in the actual file as well. And I go to, there's a number of options here. There's update values. So for example, if I know somebody's worked on it, I can make sure update values does the most optimal one. I can go change source, which is what I'm going to do in a minute. I can open the source if I want to have a quick look at it, or if I want to break the link. So in other words, make sure that any changes in my, for example, Galway January file would not be reflected in this one, I would just go to break link. Okay. And what I'll do is just do, before I do that, I'll just close that and just do a quick change. I'm just going to navigate over to my Galway January file. Okay. There we go. I see the moment, let's say that's that. Now I'm going to change this to 5,000. Right. Now, if you look back here into my shared file, you can see this is updated to it. So there's a link between the two files on it. Now, let me just undo that now. There we go, change back. Put my video back on again. God bless the light. So just to kind of say, so you can see now at the moment, there's a live connection between those two files. So what I want to do is now I want to look at a different file, data, go to edit links, make sure I've clicked on Galway January because I want to change that to Galway February. And I go down to change source. Okay. Now what I do now is I can actually just go to see where I've got my file here and see that it says Galway February. So I click on that and just everything needs to be in the same location. And then I click OK. Right. Now you can see there when I do that, that updates. All right. And over here, I've got a little way you can check your answer. So 1630, 3994, 2947, that works fine. Right. I then do the same thing with Mayo. I click here, I go to edit links, and I need to make sure this time that I click on Mayo January. Okay, that's quite important. That's kind of a little step you must make sure of. And then I click on, let's say, change source. And then I navigate to Mayo February, which is what I want to do. Okay, I see it's there, and I click close, and that's updated as well. Go across here to this one. And now I'm going to go to Mayo Sligo. So again, I go to edit links, make sure I click on Sligo January, and then I go to change source, and I go here then to Sligo February. Now, I don't know why this happens, all right? So if that happens, what I would probably do is maybe delete what I have here, and then repeat the same steps of just going to equals, and then go down to this one and just go down to Sligo February, click on the cell, and then I just have to repeat the steps, highlight again, F4. So it's just so that one of the reasons I kind of left that there is that, you know, if these things happen, this gives you an option to kind of troubleshoot it, right? And then go across here. And see, there's my 1874, 310633, which is fine, right? Now, the last one here, the last section on this one is if I want to combine two entries, all right? Now, and I'm going to just show you also that how you could actually, let's say, for example, you've done this, and what you want to do then is basically make sure nobody can change it, okay? So one of the most common ways to do that is do a thing called paste values, okay? So what I would do is I would highlight this here, and I would go to home, I go to copy, so you see it's live there, and then I click beside the paste, and I would go to an option here that says paste values, right? So what was there was formulas. Let's just have a quick check. So you can see up there, there's the formulas, all right? And see there, in this time, it does give you the full path. When you pull it in, it doesn't give you the path, but now when I'm kind of bring it actually in, you can see the full path there on it. And if I go to, then go paste, and I go paste values, you can see there, it's now being converted to values, all right? So that's a way to kind of lock it down to make sure, you know, one way to make sure it's locked down so that you don't have any changes to it, okay? And I'm just going to undo that again. Now, for the last one here, if I want to combine the two of them, all right? So again, what I do is that this is kind of, again, you probably wouldn't use the edit links one so much. So let's say I want to go Galway Larry, so I just go equals, and then I would navigate to my Galway February, Galway January 1st, click on Larry, see it comes up, and then I'll go plus, and then I'll go down, let's say, to Galway February, and then I click on the same cell again, enter. Now again, you need to come back up to this one, highlight the whole lot again, and just press F4, and then you can copy it down. And if I go across here, there you go, 621178. And let me just put in my little auto sum here. God bless auto sum. 21178. So I would kind of suggest for you, if you want to practice this, is maybe just do the same thing for Mayo and Sligo, and then you can actually come over here and check your answers on this part of the spreadsheet over here. All right. So I hope you find this useful. As always, put any comments or questions into the the chat at the bottom or the comments at the bottom, whatever suits you. And I will see you again, and mind yourself.